Welcome to another episode of the Strange Motion Way podcast. I'm your host, Tim Strange, along with.
Carrie Strange.
And then we have our cat Axel that shows up every once in a while. He's walking around down here. So tonight we have a badass custom painter. He's part of the Count's Custom Shop in Las Vegas, which we've never been by the shop there. My research in 2018, he was inducted in the Mini Truck Hall of Fame. And this is the cool part that we've talked about this before and you weren't there. So I've been to a ton of events where they bring in featured guests and superstars and they have celebrities that come. And one year they brought this guy to the Tulsa, he's laughing at celebrities, to the Tulsa Starbird Indoor Car Show. And they usually have 3 or 4 featured people around and they have scheduled times and promoted times on advertisements on when the people are supposed to be there. Sometimes, a lot of times, these people just come and go. They just come, do their time, and leave. I never seen him leave the building. He would go down to the lower level, get down into the panel jam, and be part of that. So you can tell that he wasn't just there because he had to be. He loves being part of the industry, and he just loves the custom paint. So welcome tonight, Ryan Evans. How you doing?
Very good, and hell yeah, man! I do a lot of the celebrity appearances at car shows, and I get asked that a lot. What time do you want to show up? I was like, when does the car show start? Well, you
Yeah,
guys don't have to be there that early. It's like, look, man, I flew across the country to be at a car show. I'm going to be at a car show.
yeah, yeah.
I want to see everything, talk to everybody, see all the cars, climb in and out of everything, and enjoy a car show. Because otherwise, I don't get to go to car shows in Vegas.
Yeah, you don't have time. You're working all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I will say, he is not tech savvy. He is on his phone, which Dave Shutton's done his phone. The Pete and Jake's guys did his phone. Phone works good. He said he doesn't even have a computer. So he is pretty much like the guests that we have had that are in their 80s and 90s, except he has a cell phone.
Or
I'm
he's
not
like,
I have a computer, but I don't turn it on very often, so I can talk smack. But yeah, it's like, okay, Carrie, we need to fire up my computer so I can do some emails. I do that like once a month.
and then he gets mad because it hasn't been on for like 3 months and it has to update.
Yeah, I do everything on my phone or my iPad. Yeah.
Oh, that is murder. I can't stand that. The earlier in the week, my phone was too old. The updates weren't current, and I couldn't get an app, and it was a mess. But every time I let one of those updates go through on my phone, it rearranges my numbers, my
Mm-hmm.
photographs. Nothing works the same. So I've
Yep.
never done an update. I don't know that I ever will.
That's me when something doesn't work. Well, when's the last time you updated? I have no idea. So
I still smash stuff, so
I have the toughest case I can on my phone because I drop it like a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
yeah. No, I just bang it on the table and tell it to work.
Yeah, it doesn't help. It does not help do that.
It makes me feel better.
Yeah,
Right.
that's all that matters. So let's go back to young Ryan. Are you a born and bred Vegas guy?
No, not at all. My dad was military. My entire childhood, probably, I think I was like 24 to 26, maybe when he retired. Um, so I was born in Mount Vernon, Illinois, proudly. We were shipped off in 2 weeks to Arizona, multiple assignments overseas in Germany. And I guess before I moved to Las Vegas, we lived in Texas, Fort Hood, Texas, longer than anywhere else. So I considered myself born in Illinois, Texas raised, and now I'm just a Vegas transplant.
So let's. Carrie always likes to get school stories.
Oh, come on with it.
Get in with your school story questions.
Oh,
Are you blank?
I am.
She always wants to know what type of a student
Well,
was.
yeah. So, okay, so going back, so where you went to school in Texas, correct?
Uh,
Or,
I went to school in let's see, Arizona, Georgia, Texas, Bad Kreuznach, Germany, Bad Homburg, Germany, Frankfurt,
Wow.
Germany.
okay. So the normal question of like what size is your school, that varies. So we won't get into all those. But yeah, what kind of student were you? Did you barely make it through, or were you a whiz and it was easy for you?
No, unfortunately, I was a blockhead. Um,
Which
I
is
was,
common in this industry.
yeah, I was a C&D student. Anything that was, and this goes all the way back to grade school. Anything that was creative or pseudo philosophical, something that challenged you to think outside the circle, not just remembering facts and numbers and stuff like that. I think those are the things that I excelled in, and accounting and business.
I
Because
would never think that you to be into accounting.
it was not a fit at all. It made zero sense. But I think this was probably about the time that movie Color of Money came out
Mm,
with Charlie Sheen.
Hmm.
And that was just, oh, I like money. I like to be, well off and have things and stuff. So I think I was a junior in high school. Um, I started lining up every elective that was business or bookkeeping background, and I was even in a club once. It was called the Future Business Leaders of America, FBLA.
Nice.
did you have to wear like a sport coat?
I did, as a matter of fact.
Nice.
But
So were you in any sports?
nope.
Nope.
The
So
only
with
thing that
all the different schools, did you take art classes when you were in all these different schools?
art was not. It was something that I did, but it wasn't something that defined who I was. It was just
Mm-hmm.
I'm the guy that got in more trouble doodling on desktops than any other student. And these were good doodles. I mean, I can remember
See,
some.
I have a friend I went to high school with, and he does tattoos now
Yeah,
because he allegedly wrote his name everywhere on every country road sign and bridge everywhere. So he started out as a young kid writing on stuff that's not normal. So now he just writes on people for a living. So yeah,
yeah. So I can say that it was always there. I was probably every art teacher's pet, and but again, it was just something that I did. It didn't define me. The creativity was always there, whether it be in how I dressed or what I did. But probably from fifth grade till me graduating high school, if it didn't have two wheels and pedals, I didn't care about it. I was a bicycle kid, so that
Yep.
was school was just something I had to get through. Um,
yeah. Did you ride any like freestyle or race any BMX or
oh
anything?
yeah, all
Yeah.
freestyle.
We just got home from the BMX Grand Nationals where she raced and I worked online for the Flow Racing Flow bike coverage, doing pit interviews and interviewing the national amateur titles and all of that stuff. So yeah, we're still deep into the BMX world.
I know. When I talked to you at SEMA, I was jealous. I'm like, son of a bitch, man. If my life had gone that way, what would it have been? But yeah, I'm grateful for where I'm at, and my hands still work.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. There's a lot of guys. Art, how old are you now?
52.
Okay, I'm 54. So there's a lot of guys in our generation that are into custom painting and car building and hot rodding and stuff that were BMXers, like Zane Cullen, Chip Foose,
Yep.
Brad Fanshaw, Daryl Hollenbeck, Dave Tucci. A lot of them were BMX, either freestyle or racing. So it's that generation of creativity, I think, that it all tied together.
100%. You see their shops and social media and the posts that they do, and it's always what's in the background. Is that an '86 Haro Master in the
Yeah,
background?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a GT Pro Series, really?
Mhm.
That's original.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep,
yeah.
I am a bike nerd. I'm a
Cool.
20-inch nerd.
What kind of bikes did you have?
I think my first significant bike was, well, hell, I'll go all the way back. My very first bike that was like a really cool bike outside of the Roadmaster with the banana seat that everybody had
Mm-hmm.
was a Huffy Thunder Trail
Mm-hmm.
28. It was black frame, all gold stickers and pads, and it had the heaviest cast aluminum mags on it.
Oh wow. See,
And
I
then
have a Huffy Dirt. What did you just say that was?
Thunder Trail.
Yeah, mine's a Dirt something that I bought. I had
Is
a
it blue?
generic one.
Is it
It's
blue and yellow?
it's black and yellow.
Black and yellow?
And it's got like the original tires on it. I bought it as two because I had a JC Penney version, the Wildfire bike that I got when I was 8.
Yeah.
And I found one that was all original tires. I had to buy both bikes. So I have a Huffy one sitting there too in the when
Yeah.
it's upstairs in the
This
shop.
bike, believe it or not, had a cast aluminum version of the Skyway Tough Ones.
Those were heavy.
Heaviest, heavies. Like when I was a kid, someone stole the wheels off of it. It was like, hey, they want those wheels. Good luck, man. They earned it. They had to carry those things home. After that, my first significant bike was a bike you could only get on at the PX on APHIS, and that's a military based kind of like a military Walmart. And
Can I
it
guess
was
what it was?
a huh?
Can I? Oh, he started to say.
No, go
Well,
ahead if you want to guess.
Blue
Yeah.
Max bikes were sold on military bases, and they were made by Mongoose.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
they the most popular one was the had the blue tires and the blue grips and the blue pads. I had one that nobody else wanted. It was a leftover, and it was black pads, black grips, and all that. So that started me being a bicycle kid outside of just being a kid riding a bicycle. We were stationed in Stuttgart, Germany. This is early '80s. No, I take it back. BK, Germany. Sorry. There were some local kids, German kids that were in high school, and they were freestylers. And they would ride through, the base housing and everything just to as a shortcut. And these bikes were crazy as hell. They both of these guys, Peter and Frederick, were their names. Skyway mags, purple frames, pink frames. I mean, outlandish '80s,
Yep.
as '80s can get. And they're doing tricks and just stopped me in my tracks. I mean, it floored me. And I'd say that Christmas, parents loaded up with, I think I got a set of Peregrine mags, some pedals, GT Performer bars, the first generation, GT platform, the fold out pegs, and the rear axle pegs. And that was it.
All that stuff is worth its weight in gold now.
I know. And it rotted away in my parents' attic in Texas. And I told them, nah, throw that junk away.
But that's why it's worth
Yeah,
stuff,
if
is
everybody
because
still had their
nobody's had
stuff, it wouldn't be worth anything. But
exactly.
I know. And then when we were reassigned overseas, that was my big thing is an '86 Haro Master team model that I didn't even know existed. They weren't even in the magazines. And this was like the first release of the Group 1 parts. And that was my baby all the way into high school.
That's still like a holy grail bike right there. The
I
Blue
know.
Max is still they're highly collectible too because they didn't make as many of them. But yeah, I have a lot of vintage stuff, and I don't have a Haro bike yet, but I want a Haro in my collection. So you're not listening, right?
Nope.
Yeah, there was a guy here in town who was selling. It's a repop, so it's not original, but it's an '86 version with all the sealed bearings, and that blows my mind. My Haro was a tank. This repop, this thing weighs half as much, and every bearing on the thing is sealed. I mean, much higher quality parts.
Yeah.
And I scooped it up. Same color tires, same color frame, pearl white and chrome. I couldn't help myself. I went full on crackhead with that bike.
You got to treat yourself every once in a while.
Yeah. It's my dirty little secret. It sits here in the shop.
Yeah. Very, very cool. So how did you start getting more into what you're doing now, the custom painting? So you graduated high school from Texas, or did you graduate in Vegas?
Frankfurt, Germany. I've only been in Vegas for 26 or 7 years now.
Okay. Wow. So
But
how is it? How is it graduating a school in Germany? Is it anything like here, or was it slightly Americanized? That's a big word for me because of the American military base there.
No, it's a valid question. So at most military installations at the time, most of them are closed down now, but uh, let's say there were 100 military bases in Germany. Each base was effectively a small town. They had schools. They either had an elementary school, that covered pre-K up into like 5th grade, 6th grade, and then high school would pick up 6th grade all the way to 12. Um, but it was like a small town. Everybody knew each other. You were only stationed there for maybe 2.5 to 3 years, so there weren't very many people that were there too long. So
Yeah.
you weren't able to really grow any roots. But the best thing about being, we call ourselves brats, BRAT, Army brats, military brats. You really, really develop a sense of community between your parents. Either the mother or the father were in the military, so they had rules. And as a military dependent, you also had rules. And if you broke those rules, that meant your parent, whoever was in the military, could potentially lose a rank, or get kicked out of the army or the
Wow.
military altogether. So you had to walk a little bit of a fine line, or at least figure out ways of breaking those lines, and damn sure make sure you don't get caught.
So if you ever seen that movie from the '80s, Iron Eagle, where they kidnapped his dad on the?
Yep.
It's actually pretty good, cheesy but pretty good. And he stole the plane, and went and flew overseas to save
Yep.
his dad. And yeah, you would have gotten a lot of trouble if you would have actually
Oh
done that.
man, if that was real, if that was real, oh yeah, not just him, but also the cat that helped him. Oh, that they'd be in jail.
Yeah.
Long forgotten in jail.
So you didn't go to school. You went with school was all Americans. Did you learn?
Yep.
Did you
Yeah,
learn to speak German when you were over there?
absolutely. One of the things that I learned, you know, growing up in the U.S., it's the U.S. Well, when you go to a military base overseas, that's a small little piece of the U.S. Well, that's cool and all, but you're living in Germany, man. Go be in Germany.
Yeah.
And for the German locals, Americans were like aliens. So you were treated differently, and treated differently in a positive way. The curiosity was there, and the kids were, you know, very fun to play with. They share their stuff, and you share in their culture, and they bring you over, and you're having lunch at their house. And who the hell wants to stay on the base when you've got all that out there, and it's the same but different? So over there, they've got Burger King like we do, but not the same Burger King. So
So,
even as a
um,
kid, like I'm
so
going to experience
how
that.
did the German girls like the American boys?
Uh, like we were the Beatles.
Ah, okay. That's all I need to say. Okay.
Yep.
So I think you're married, right?
Yes.
Because he forgot a couple weeks ago we had this
Yes.
scheduled, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go fix the toilet for my wife." So yeah,
Oh,
so that's all. That's all. Because she's gonna question if she listens to this. Oh, so tell me the German girl stories. It's like that's all we do. Yeah.
no, honestly, I don't have too many of them because, again, at that time, if it didn't have two wheels, I didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, the toilet, it got fixed.
Cool, yeah.
Yay.
The longest toilet project in history.
We got one of those bathrooms that's been under construction. The toilet works, but it's been under construction for
Ever.
4 or 5 years. I get tired. I don't want to sand drywall anymore, and
I don't want the dust.
you can't get anybody to come work on your house anymore. Yeah, down here. So
Yeah. See, nowadays I know better. I'll plan for 5 to 10 years, but when it comes down to actually getting it done, as long as I have the parts and I know what the hell I'm doing, I'm gonna get it done.
yeah.
As long as it's not a toilet.
Yeah.
So you graduated in Germany. How long were you over there before you came back to the States?
We did 3 tours. Each tour was 2.5 years. So this was 92 when I graduated, and I don't think we got back stateside until 93.
Okay.
And from there, I went to a community college again to be an accountant. Made it through an associate's, and I think my last 2 semesters, I was actually financing myself through college with airbrushing T-shirts and gas tanks and helmets. So by the time I graduated, I could care less about accounting. I could care less
Yeah.
about business, other than owning my own right now.
Yeah. So where did you graduate college from?
Central Texas College in Killeen, Texas. That's the home of Fort Hood, the biggest Army base on the planet.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Did you ever have a relative in at that one?
Mm-mm.
No. She got a bunch of military people in her side of the family, so I didn't know. Never heard of that
Probably
one.
back in the day, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most of the popular Army bases are going to be Fort Hood, Fort Bragg. There's another one in Kentucky. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, I get asked that a lot. You know, every 2.5 years of my childhood life, we packed up our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We had about 6 months of living in limbo, and then we would be in a new house. And I get asked a lot, like, how hard was that on you being a kid? You know, different schools every 2.5 years, not growing up in one place. And I can honestly say I wouldn't change it for anything. I'm very grateful for the way I grew up. And truth be told, by 2.5 years, it was time for Ryan to get the hell out of Dodge. He did some stuff that he was ducking and dodging, and it was going to come down to that. It was
So
time to
did some
go.
military families get to stay longer, or was it just Ryan's parents got asked, "Can we move you again because this town can't handle more Ryan"?
Well, I can say this: every time that we were reassigned, we'd go back to what the military calls your home base, and that was Mount Vernon, Illinois. And when I say small town, I had the same elementary school teachers that my parents had.
Mhm.
I went to the same elementary school that my grandparents went to. So when I showed up to school on what I thought was my first day of school, you have the coach who's also a homeroom teacher say, "You're an Evans boy, ain't you?" And just give you that poke right there in the chest. I'm gonna keep my eye on you. Like, awesome. So I'm
Yeah.
screwed from day one. Is that it?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got in a lot of trouble at the home base because it's country and I did country stuff. Um, but I always had eyes on me.
Yeah, we've stayed in Mount Vernon a lot because we were Illinois people, but uh, not far from Mount Vernon was DeCoin, Illinois, and that's where the Street Machine Nationals was.
Yes.
So we went. Did you ever go there growing up? Because you would have
I
been like a teenager. Were you into cars enough to go over?
oh
I mean,
most
because
I was
like it was 45 minutes because you couldn't get enough hotels. So a lot of times we'd stay in Mount Vernon.
oh yeah. Technically I was born into cars and motorcycles with my dad. But the military life kind of separated us from that for quite a
Mm-hmm.
while. But I fondly remember the Street Machine Nationals being in town, and that was the main drag. Was the main drag through Mount Vernon. That's where everyone lined their lawn chairs up and watched.
Yeah,
I
Yep.
mean, I watched cars,
yeah,
iconic cars, cruising up and down the main street in Mount Vernon.
yeah. One year, my buddy he had a Pro Street Roadrunner or Super B, Super B.
Hmm.
He was from Iowa that always came with us, and he put diesel in his, because the fuel cell neck was this big in his Pro Street car, and then allegedly we drained a tank of diesel fuel in the Motel 6 parking lot, which is
Allegedly.
allegedly it's tore down now, but right at that main exit, you would back up and turn, um, and then we filled it full of gas, octane booster, and ran it up and down the interstate all night long, and ran a tank of fuel out of it so it would quit smoking. And yeah, we had a lot of good times. And you threw a phone one time, and yeah,
Allegedly.
allegedly. So yeah, we stayed in Mount Vernon a lot of times. Yeah, yeah,
But you got a reputation there, just like me.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
okay, so you get done with college in Texas. Growing up when you were in all these military places, did you ever have like a job? Did you work at the McDonald's over there or any place like that? Did you ever have like a first like real job other than painting for stuff people?
I can say that when it came to food service work, Ryan liked to eat. So that was the last thing in the world Ryan ever wanted to do because whatever
Mm-hmm.
happens back there, I don't want to know. I love your food and I don't want to mess that up.
Yeah.
So my
Good
very,
choice.
very first job was working at a place called the Sight and Sound on the PX compound. And that was, of all things, selling computers. So I go back to the DOS days, computer language. I took
Yep.
DOS in high school. I took DOS again in college. DOS, at the time, I knew my own way around. But when the people started using mouses and icons and you click here and click there, yeah, you lost me at that. But I sold
You were into the
computers.
computers when the screens only were green.
Yeah, there was no mouse.
Yeah.
Color screens. I was the guy selling the first color screens.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And after that, I got a job at the craft shop framing pictures. They cut the mats and do the frame and the glass.
Mhm.
So I did that. But other than that, it was paint from day one. And it was only custom from day one. I regret never having any collision experience. I've had to learn it over the years. But yeah, it's only been custom from day one.
Cool. And then, so when when you got done with college, you decided you weren't going to be an accountant? Did you go work for a shop, or you just started doing stuff on your own?
No, I was actually working out of my parents' garage, our little 2-car garage on our house. And when I graduated college, I was all over the business. So I was handing out business cards left and right. This is before emails and cell phones and all that. So I hit the streets with a box of cards and got rid of them all, not thinking that I'm inviting all these people to my parents' house. And dad being he was communications security officer, and his MOS had enough what do you call it, security clearances and issues and checks and people looking over his shoulders, that was not a good look, having all these random people come to our house. So my dad kind of sort of kicked me out. He kicked the business out. He kicked the business out.
Yeah.
And in Fort Hood, there was because I went to high school there in Fort Hood, freshman, sophomore year. There's a stereo shop in Clean that is 80s, 90s, into the 2000s. Like this place, everyone that got their first cool stereo, they went to Jack Stereo. So the owner there was hip to the idea that maybe Ryan could rent out the back bay. It's just maybe 1,000 square foot bay. And I set up a deal with them for 20% off the top. That was my rent. And I was in that shop for about a year. And I think the second or third time that I gave him about $1,000 for the month, that's when I started looking for another shop closer to Austin, Texas. And at the time, most of my business was coming out of Austin. So it was like, hey, it just makes sense, move to where the work is coming from.
Right.
And I did great there. I was in that shop for another year. All right, good night. Don't work too hard. Thanks. It's one of my buffers. He said, don't work too hard. That's Walter. He's one of our buffers here. Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So after being in the Round Rock shop for a little while, making way more money than a 22-year-old should ever have been making. I was making more than my dad. My mom was really, really concerned because the shop was about 45 minutes from my parents' house, and I was living at the shop. I'd come home on the weekends, do laundry, eat a real meal, say hi to my folks, and all, and drop off the week's take. Well, most of my customers had questionable employment. So I got
allegedly
paid.
you have to say allegedly.
Allegedly, I got paid with shoe boxes full of cash. Fives, tens, 20s, and I drop it off to my mom. I had a bank account there at the grocery store at a HEB, and she would make my deposits. And I think the first couple of those deposits after that, she asked, Ryan, we got to figure something out because these ladies are looking at me like I'm robbing somebody or like I'm a drug dealer. Ryan, what are you doing in Austin? Like, I'm painting. I promise, Mom. I'm painting. But while I was in Round Rock, Texas, I started meeting people in the mini truck scene, and those people introduced me to more people. out of state truck runs were bringing me out, and then out of state truck runs were coming to Texas for like the Texas heat wave.
Hmm.
And the mini truck family there, man, if you want to get into the biz, the mini truck will definitely put you out there, especially if you've got something that looks good, you know.
Like we were talking, BMX has a good start of creative people. When you got into doing trucks and cars, street machines, I'd say 85-90% of people got their start in mini trucks because
Yep.
it was creative, especially for painters. There was graphics, and 57 colors at that time, and so it was an
Yep.
awesome scene. It's still an awesome scene.
Yep. I'm grateful to see that late '80s, early '90s style coming back.
Hmm.
I think I'll have fun with that again. But I was being flown to and from California. Like every 3 to 4 months, someone had a gig for Ryan to fly out to California and paint. And it never really dawned on me why the mecca of custom was flying, little old me out there to paint stuff.
Hmm.
And it wasn't until I decided to pack up my shop in Texas and move to California that I realized why. I was just the cheapest dumbass kid that would actually do it and make it look decent enough to, people didn't look stupid with the work that I was doing. So yeah, when I moved to California, I don't remember exactly what the year was. It was probably 97, 98.
Where'd you
I
move to
did.
California? Where you were located?
I started in Escondido with Brian Gendro of the Chop Shop,
Oh, okay.
and that lasted about a
Is that
year.
dude? Is that dude still around?
He's still around. I want to say he's doing. I don't know that he's got his own shop, but he's working for other shops, which, as I have found out, way smarter. Um,
He was always a. You'd see pictures every once in a while. He was working on. I like customs, like 4950, 51 Merc that was always on a lift. If you've seen pictures of his place or so, that's
yeah,
what I could be confusing, but I don't know if that car ever got finished. Did it?
yes, it did. That is Phipps 49 Merc, and
Okay.
Brian chopped it, shaved it. The Texas Twins that he had working there for a minute, they did the body work on it. I was supposed to paint it, but what happened? We were all renting these shop stalls, massive shop. My shop was 4,500 square feet indoor and an additional 4,500 square feet covered outdoor, which in
Wow.
California, outdoor is just as good as indoor. It's the same year
Yeah.
round, Um, with power, water, utilities, everything for the whopping price of $500 a month.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so Ryan paid a year's rent up front just to make sure I couldn't get
Yeah.
kicked out.
That size there in that area is probably 10 grand a month now.
Oh, easily. This was
Yeah.
the Palomar water, the bottled water. This was their bottling facility, and it was choice. I mean, cinder block buildings, insulated roofs. The airlines were 8-inch airlines that ran the
Oh,
length
geez.
of the entire building that was 25,000 square feet. I mean, you had the air volume that we had there was unbelievable. The compressor would take half a day to fill it up and wouldn't come on until the next day. But a year after that, the Palomar finally wanted to sell the property, so they kicked us all out.
What were
So
you working on mostly when you were in that location?
well, the idea was to be working on mini trucks. The mini trucks, I only did the paint side.
Mm-hmm.
So Chop Shop did the body work. And we all know, body work and the prep, that takes the longest.
Mm-hmm.
So meantime, I tried to scrounge up some work doing Harleys, motorcycles and stuff. And Escondido was having nothing to do with it. At that time, previous custom painters had just kind of wore everybody out to where they just wanted stock paint jobs. And I didn't get any significant work in Escondido at all, other than boats. That was my introduction to big damn boats that were fun but overwhelming, and I was not equipped to do. But I did them anyway, as if I had done hundreds of them.
Yeah, the first shop I worked at in high school, he we was Corvette place, but he was a bass fishermen, so
Yeah.
we got to do a lot of the bass tournament fishing. So they're not huge boats, but the candy and the big metal flake and all of that and the
Yep.
stripes. I was doing that when I was in high school.
Yeah. See, I wish I had that kind of an upbringing, but again, bicycles. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But I bounced around California a little bit. My last shop, I was working with Ryan Freelinghauser from West Coast Customs before they were Pimp My Ride and before they were
Mm-hmm.
everything else. And we had this idea of going into a big shop. It was me, Ghetto Bob from the TV show. I've known Ghetto Bob since we were kids in Texas. Um, but he moved out to California as well. And we were all had this idea of having fabrication, stereo, interior, custom paint, everything all under one roof. And I was taking work from LA to Escondido and working out of, at the time, my would have been father-in-law's house and a local shop there that let me use their booth. So I'd take half the money on the job, get the job done, and leave the other half on the books. Well, the city of LA, after a year of doing that, city of LA said there's no way you're going to get all of that in one building without all these crazy firewalls and city
Mm-hmm.
regulations and all that. So Ryan got the boot on that, but I took over West Coast's old shop, and it was on the just barely on the edge of Compton and Carson City. And I had a 13-month sentence in that building until my work kind of started migrating towards Las Vegas, and that's when Counts Customs, which was Evil Twin at the time, they caught some of my work, and they worked on those bikes. And a friend of mine from California moved to Vegas, and word got out, hey, this guy, he does nice work. What about sending him work? And they said, well, what about him moving out here? So being in LA at the time, Shannon made his way down. My buddy introduced us. And Shannon, I don't know if he was serious or not, but he said, "Hey, would you want to move to Vegas and be our painter?" Like, yes, anything to get the hell out of California. Um, and I think within 3 weeks, I had that shop shut down, work done, or packed up in a box, and I moved to Vegas.
What year was that when you moved to Vegas?
That was Halloween Day, 1999.
We're usually in Vegas for Halloween. It's always a good time. We
Oh,
go because that's almost SEMA time there, so we always like to go
yep,
dress up and go down to Fremont. So yeah,
yep, same here.
yeah,
We get dressed up around here twice a year, New Year's and Halloween.
Yep.
yeah.
And we
New
get
Year's
dressed up,
we get dressed up in our pajamas.
So we live close to Nashville, and we hardly ever go downtown Nashville.
right?
Are you the same way? Do you hardly ever go downtown the Strip, Vegas?
Never,
Yeah,
never the strip. If we go out, it's going to be on Fremont Street.
yeah. I got a buddy that he runs Dan's Drive Line out
Yeah.
there.
Oh yeah.
Brick Casper, good friend of mine, and he hates coming. It was like, oh, gonna pick me up to go up to the drags before SEMA, and he's like, man, I even hate driving across the Strip. And he's
Yep.
like, want to meet us? It's like we hardly go to the Strip because we're so busy during the SEMA show. But it's got to be nice to go to the SEMA show and sleep in your own bed, though.
Right.
Well, yes and no. Everybody goes to SEMA. They're coming from everywhere else, so technically they're on vacation. I leave SEMA to go back to work.
Yeah, we treat it as work because we have, she works very hard doing the Optima Unleashed, the racing stuff. Um, I treat SEMA not as a party, not as a car show. It's business. I set up business meetings. I don't even make it through a third of the SEMA show.
Right.
Um, Anything that I do in the evenings, I'm usually hosting or on the microphone for. So, and we're not partiers, we're not drinkers, so we're not.
Yeah.
We're people's designated drivers at SEMA. That's what it ends up being. So,
Welcome to the
Yeah.
club. Yeah.
yeah,
That's Well, yeah. I know. When I see you guys at SEMA, it's for all of 2 minutes, and poof, you're
yeah,
gone.
yeah. I
So
don't
I
think
know.
I seen you. I seen it to Mini Truck Hall of Fame, and I don't think I seen you the rest of the week. Did I?
Uh,
I don't think so. Yeah. And she wasn't even with me that night because you were out at.
No, I went to bed.
Oh yeah, you went to bed because you
Yeah.
were out.
I had been out at
She was
Pahrump.
at Pahrump the Saturday and Sunday before SEMA running the Optima race, so she was
Damn. Yeah, you were
exhausted.
really busy.
I
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So okay, so you hit the ground there, and you've been. Were they called counts yet then, or they were still evil twin?
They were evil twin in the beginning, yeah.
And they were
Um,
mostly just doing motorcycle stuff.
all motorcycles. The
Okay.
only cars, Danny, the building and everything was his, and it was technically it still is the family collection. So it was his mom, his dad, and his sister, and his cars that they've collected over umpteen years.
I
And
know it's weird. As many times we've come to Vegas for SEMA, I've never came by the shop, and I don't think I've ever met Danny.
wow, that's
Yeah,
saying a lot,
maybe
actually.
I've seen his band play someplace, but I don't know if I maybe said hello and shook his hand, but I've never had like a conversation with him. But yeah,
Oh
I've seen
man,
his band play once or twice. Yeah.
yeah. One of these days, I have to introduce you because he would know who you are. I mean, just from the Chevy, he'll know. I mean,
Cool.
everyone knows the Flowmaster ads forever.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, the in the very beginning, the car side of things were more of a hobby shop. Danny and the
Mhm.
family, they had an on-site mechanic that kept them running, and we were all kind of stewards, if you will, of the family collection. But on the side was Evil Twin, where they built custom choppers, and that was
That
my
was the
inner.
time where I would call it the heyday. My dad was a custom chopper guy in the 70s before he got into Tri 5 Chevys when the kids got bigger. But that was kind of the era when all the the chopper shows was on, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That was the motorcycle industry, it was huge. Like I'm friends with Hot Rods by Dean in Phoenix.
yeah.
Across the street from him back then was Burgette's, the big tube bike guy.
Oh yeah,
And he said like 3 or 4 semis left a week with Burgett bikes.
yeah.
Or, they had parts lines, full semis of stuff leaving a week of that much motorcycle stuff.
Yeah, that was probably 2005 to 2008,
Hmm.
just before the economy crash.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, we were turning and burning choppers. That was my introduction to the Sugar Bear front end. That's that
Mhm.
goofy Springer front end we like to use on everything. Goofy
Yeah.
in the sense that it was different. It
Yeah.
took me a while to get my head wrapped around the front rockers that look like Aladdin shoes.
Yeah. 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 I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, we were cranking out bikes faster than we could build them, and it was a good time. A lot of us matured. I matured and grew up. How's it going, man? Give me a second. I'm on a podcast right now. All right, cool, brother. Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Um, we were cranking out motorcycles. I was
See, we should
maturing.
have we should have grabbed anybody that was leaving for the night and get an embarrassing story of you working, like something you've done wrong or goofy or something like that, or fell asleep
Yeah,
in the paint room or something. Yeah.
yeah, that and living here. I think I lived here for almost a year. I think for a while, literally. I was I broke up with my girlfriend at the time and kicked me out, so I had to live here.
There
Um,
you
but yeah, we all matured. I got before that, custom painting was something I enjoyed. Uh, it's something that I could do and pay my bills, right? But I didn't really dive headfirst into it. It was still just something that I did and could
Hmm.
support myself. When the bike craze was happening and just before the show kicked off, I jumped in head first all the way down to my toenails and was all custom paint. This is who I am. This is what I do. I went apeshit crazy on the culture and absorbed everything that I could, still to this day. And that's when I think I matured as a would-be custom painter, not just a guy who plays around with paint.
Hmm.
So after the bike craze kind of fell off with the economy crash, um, we all regrouped and just did our own thing to get us through. I took on any and every paint project I could because again, this is the only thing I've done since graduating college.
Hmm.
Um, so it was kind of hand to mouth, a lot of bologna sandwiches. And then the economy started coming back and the shop started growing again. and the bike thing kind of faded a little bit. And Danny started buying flip cars, and instead of having a customer attached to it, telling us what they want and how they want it to look, Danny is like, "These are our cars. We do whatever the hell we want with them. If we want to make it look cool, we make it look cool. If we want it to look, custom culture, that's what we're going to do." And that, I think, for 2 years, that was probably the most fun I've ever had in this industry. Was that 2 year stretch of doing whatever the hell we wanted to a car.
Yeah,
So
because you
long.
almost had that like custom guys. They always say, "Well, if you won the lottery, what would you do?" Well, we'd still build or paint stuff. We just
Yeah,
would deal with the customers. So that's kind of what you got to do. It's like, oh, we feel like doing this week, so we're gonna do it. So yeah,
yeah.
that's kind of a dream. Get
It
up and go
was
type of thing.
exactly, and Danny had this eclectic taste for cars that he bought the cars that weren't normal. It wasn't a Camaro or a Mustang. It was a Cadillac or a Lincoln or a station wagon or a van, a busted up van. And we started having fun. I mean, we really had a lot of fun. And that's about the time that the TV show came along and saw that we were having fun, and I guess they wanted to join in on that fun.
About what year was the TV show start?
I want to say 2011 or 12.
Okay,
And I've
so that
done.
was when did mine start my show? About that time, wasn't
About
it?
that same time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Yeah,
2011. We moved here, I think. Yeah.
yeah, we did a few biker build offs, during the Discovery Channel days.
Hmm.
And
I
when,
really, I don't watch a lot of car stuff now, especially since you might be the same way, especially when you've been involved in a TV show. It's hard to enjoy because I'm one of those because we set our lighting up. It's like, oh, that light, you can see that cable, or that was edited out of order. So I look at that stuff as all that stuff when you're involved behind the scenes in a TV show jumps out at you. But I think still to this day, my favorite series was the Biker Build Off stuff. I really liked them.
yeah,
Yeah.
my involvement with that was eye opening. It wasn't necessarily about the work that you were doing. It was the presence that you made in a show.
And
And
you got like no time to build those bikes, right?
oh yeah, legit. It was a week, 1 week.
Yeah.
They offset. So you had two teams. You had Team A and Team B. They'd start with Team A, uh, film for a week and build a bike for a week, and then while they filmed Team B, Team A had a week to get everything painted and final assembly and all that good stuff. And then when B was done, then they had another week when they go back to Team A to film, final touches, yada yada yada. So it was
Mhm.
legit. You had 2 weeks effectively to build a
Yeah.
bike.
Yeah. When I did my show, we had 4 weeks we had to do it.
Yeah,
But every week I had different guys that I know. Like I would
yeah.
have 12 to 15 people every week in this that would come to Nashville and work. So, I mean, we're
God,
building
that's
a farm,
tough.
so it was bigger, but we still didn't sleep for a
Yeah,
month at a time. Yeah.
God, that's tough. You had a new crew every time. Oh,
Yeah. But
that's
it was
crazy.
always people
But
that I knew.
the good part about it is they were fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They weren't
You
tired.
got yeah.
Metal week.
He was tired,
Yeah, I was
but
tired. Metal guys the week one, body and paint the next, and starting the upholstery and wiring. So I had all these guys. Okay, what's your, you can do that when you've been in the industry forever. It's like, okay, this guy's going to come and he's a really good metal guy. This guy, and he's fast and he's no drama. So that's how I got it, and it somehow it worked. I did that for 2 years, and now I'm too old to do that.
mhm.
wow. Yeah, that's I've been asked that a lot too. When's the show going to come back? And I said, honestly, I don't have that in me anymore.
Yeah,
That show can stay the hell away for all I care.
Yep.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, it was cool. The deadlines actually kind of kept us on the straight and narrow. There's with flip cars, you bounce from one to the other, and then you lose sight of this one, and it sits a little
Mhm.
while. With the film crew, if you had 2 week deadline, you had a 2 week deadline, and
Yeah,
that's that. And
yeah.
with the
Yeah.
and we all know, I don't know if they did this with you, but if we missed every day that we missed a deadline, that was $10,000 fine we had to pay a day.
No, ours wasn't like that, but it was just, there wasn't a question. We never missed a
There
deadline.
was not an option to
There was
miss.
not an
Right.
option to miss it, because like if we didn't drive it out of the building by the end of that fourth week, and one time it was dark, it was like 11 o'clock at night, and we filmed down low because all the interior wasn't done, and then we finished it off camera the next week, and then we got to do, okay, here's the interior shot. Everything else was done ahead of time except the interior shots, because I'd keep them for 2 weeks because we had a break in between the builds.
Oh yeah,
I'd
of
keep them
course.
for 2 weeks, make sure they were right, make sure it, if it needed a fuel injection tune, we did that, got the people there from the fuel injection, but everything. But it did say that, like, yeah, my contract, like, yeah, was pretty crazy on what if we didn't make a deadline because of all the sponsors that was involved. But we always hit them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I think that was one of our eye opening for us and hard lessons learned was History Channel. They had no experience with a car show. We were technically the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And History Channel, like a lot of networks, they're used to dealing with big money, like Nike and
Yeah.
Chevy and Ford. In the very beginning, they literally did. They blurred out all our would-be sponsors because
Yeah.
they, had their hand out for that sponsorship money.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
you're in the automotive customizing industry. You're not dealing with Nike money.
Yeah.
Right.
The parts that they just sent us, that was their entire advertising budget for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had there were some lessons learned and some fights fought with History Channel over things like that because in the automotive industry, we're all like family.
Mhm.
So if you don't do right by the family, the rest of the family in the industry, they find out too, and then you're
Right.
blacklisted. And when you're blacklisted, you're done.
Yep.
So that was something we had to learn early on and fight history with. It's like, look, you got to let this happen, otherwise, take your show,
You don't
pack
have
your
it.
stuff, and go.
Yeah. And mine was on a week. It was a power block. So the
Yeah,
power block basically got the block on spike. So then they got a little bit of lenience on what, like, the way they looked at it as if it was a huge company like DeWalt. We had to
yeah,
cover the logos because DeWalt was big enough. If they were sponsoring NASCARs, they could have
right.
sponsored the block. But like they could still sell in their shows. Like I got a bunch of stuff from Jet Equipment because we didn't have the budget to buy sheet metal brakes and English wheels. So I went to them because I had some connections. They donated it to the stuff, and that was it. Make sure the logos are shown. So
Yeah,
we had some lenient stuff, and then the Matco tools was part of the power block and that, but there was our Miller welders could be seen. But then we sold the sponsorship to the 4 episodes. So like, oh, this episode is brought to you by WD-40 or Royal Purple Oil or Loctite. So then they sent in corporate people as the give back. But that's another thing when I watch car shows still to this day. It's like, oh, they're using a drill and there's a piece of black tape. Or I had safety glasses that at that time were Black Flies or Hovens or something like that I
right.
got. They made me put tape over the logos on my safety glasses.
Yep.
Just a little bit. Make sure if you're drinking a Rockstar or something, it's off camera, not on site. So you just had, yeah, just that's a lot of stuff that people sitting at home watching the TV shows don't understand. There's a lot of effort to go into that to make it work. So
Exactly. And it wasn't. I thought it was, so someone didn't get in trouble or something like that. And no, it was, the hand was out.
Money.
Like, yeah, AMD doesn't have that kind of money. You guys need to shut up.
yeah,
Yeah.
Just
yeah,
do it.
Yeah.
yeah,
He even went through that with because he would get all the volunteers and get everybody lined up to come in and work, and that was one of the first fights that he had. Is they're like, well, they can't wear a shirt that has their company name on it, and he's like, you're not paying them to come do this. That's what they're getting out of the
That's the
show.
deal.
yeah,
So you've got to let them at least get some advertising, or nobody's
yeah.
gonna come do this.
And then they finally did.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
So, yep.
Ah, the trials and tribulations of TV.
Yeah.
But then now even still to this day, trying to get sponsor parts for a personal car, some people, and we've been close on having a couple times a TV show in our shop, and then some of like sponsors you would get or chassis people or motor whatever, they've been burnt by other shows not fighting to get their stuff shown when they might have donated $20,000 worth of parts. So they've been bit in this industry, so it's hard anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We tried our best. I know we're not perfect, and because the show was on for 10 plus years, um,
Yeah, that's
I have
crazy that shows lasted. I mean, the Power Block people host. It was like a 2 year thing for most hosts. Some of them were
Mm-hmm.
there over 10. Tommy Boschers was there 17. Those Power Block, Power Nation shows are still going on now. But for a show like that to be on 10 plus years, that's incredible. That's
yeah,
that's that's three lifetimes in TV world.
yes,
Yeah, because TV almost is like a dog year. Every year of a show being on TV almost counts as seven. It
yeah.
really does.
It's
Yeah.
brutal. I have a lot of people, especially in the beginning of the TV show. Hey, how'd you guys get a show? We'd like to do a show. I'm like, man, careful what you wish for. It is
Yeah.
not what you think.
Yeah.
It's not all good.
We thought it was going to be that way. I mean, there's a kind of a rule of thumb in TV, like real TV, that once you hit 200 episodes, the heavens open up and money just starts raining in. Yeah, it doesn't happen in reality TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody got rich. Nobody, but maybe the networks did their thing. They made their money. That's why they did the show. But
Well, I'm
Yeah.
sure that, and that's another thing you got to watch contracts. That's when we almost got our last show in the shop. It was going to be a custom car thing, and I knew going in with the meetings, I want to make sure I control my logo. I still own that. I still be able to sell my shirts and keep that money. But if we do a T-shirt of the name of the show, we split that profits. And they're like, "Oh, you've been through this before."
yeah,
Because I've known people that had a small show that they lost the name of their shop. They
yeah,
lost their logo because they
Mhm.
didn't read the fine print. They had stars in their eyes,
Mhm.
and it was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on TV, and I'm gonna be as
I'm gonna be famous.
but merch
yeah.
sales is really good when you can sell the. I mean, we've seen count shirts everywhere. So
Oh yeah. If it weren't for merch, honestly, we couldn't keep the doors open. I
Mhm.
remember in all the money from the TV show, literally all of it, every cent of it, ended up back in the shop anyway. I think
yeah,
at the time when we were at our peak, and that was probably the fifth year to the 11 years, we had close to 50 guys working here.
wow,
Yeah, uh, payroll was,
Insane.
put it mildly, astronomical.
yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
no way building cars and motorcycles. There's no way to pay for that. There's no way.
Yeah, there's
Not
some
without
of these guys that
manufacturing.
just when the Motor Trend killed a bunch of the shows. I'm not going to name names, but have like 50 employees. I don't
Yeah,
know if they can sustain that 50 employees now that they're not doing TV because they had a core group of guys that were mostly doing the TV stuff. And then the other shops kind of separate and they were run, the other built, but still very good quality stuff. But it'd be interesting to see this, how long that lasts of that many people is.
yeah. Well, it was we when COVID hit, that hurt us the most. That we
Mhm.
lost better than half of our workforce.
Yeah.
Then the supply chains that we're still struggling with
Yeah.
to this day. Good luck. I mean, the American made parts, awesome. Not American made parts, yikes.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
let's
yikes.
talk about COVID stuff, how everything changed. I don't like to be negative on COVID, but it was. But like paint materials changed. They started using, at least the companies that I've used, the materials, they got cheaper. The things didn't work. The things didn't dry as good. The solvents wasn't there. It's slowly coming back. But there was a time there, it's like your high end materials was no better than what it seemed like you buy at a Tractor Supply store. I mean,
Yeah,
that was the supply chain stuff, and they were just buying solvents wherever they could get it because they couldn't get from. I mean, that's how paint reps have explained it to me, and
yeah.
their prices
There,
went through the roofs, and they're never coming back down.
yeah, they had a little bit of that where they were buying raw materials from wherever. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
they had I know of at least one um, uh, manufacturer facility who actually made everything for everybody. burned to the ground.
Hmm.
So that was, I don't remember where I was thinking in Ohio, the plant there. So that put a huge dent in a lot of things. And within a year of scurrying, all the manufacturers had managed to finally patch everything back together again and be back on track. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, since COVID, the paint industry has had all kinds of curveballs,
Yeah.
some good, some bad. Uh,
Yeah.
but I do want to say that with all the bad curveballs, just like our whole industry since the 80s, man, we just come back stronger, like much
Hmm.
stronger every single
Yeah.
time. It's baffling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's just human nature. I think when you get a battle, you don't give up. You fight through, and then you learn something, learn how to do something better. You know, better to outsource somebody, a better partner, or whatever, better machinist, or whatever like that. Sometimes we have to learn a lesson to keep growing, I guess.
Yeah. So with us losing, the last, I guess, 4 or 5 years since COVID, we're down to about 11 guys, or 11 people now. We actually have a couple women working here. Um, and are we cranking out a car a month? No, but the quality is through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability is through the roof, and we're still keeping the doors open doing this. So it's taught us to streamline things, not think so big, just streamline it and be smart about what we're doing again. And
I go to a lot of shops when I travel, and that there's like a magic number that once it gets to I see like 15 employees, then it gets to be a little bit different vibe in the shop and more like a not I want to say a factory, but it's just a little more pressure of the payroll, the boss, the manager, all that stuff. And I like to go to shops. Like I just went and helped a shop on a SEMA Thresh. They had 5 guys in there. It was a good number of
yep,
guys in there. And a lot of my like Bobby Alloway, he used to have I think 11 or 12 people, and we'll find out because he's getting ready to be on the podcast pretty soon. And Bobby's getting older. No offense, but he's getting older. He's a little bit older than me. I call him
We
the
all
elder
are.
statesman. And he goes, when I have another guy retire, I'm not replacing him. Now I'm down to this many people.
right,
One guy left and moved back home. Now I'm down to this many people. He says there'll be a time where it's just going to be me and a couple guys because I don't really want to replace them because I don't want to have to train somebody as they get older. They're still building for the basically 7 of their main customers, so they know the process and the customers will wait
Well,
if
the
they have.
workforce of the eligible people out there is
Yeah,
getting smaller and
all
smaller.
my buddies
So,
with shops that are busy, they said that's the problem. Like they can't find quality workers that want to work. They see the TV shows, they see the magazines, they get stars in their eyes, but then they don't really want to do it, or they really can't, or they give up too quickly.
right. It's we went through quite a bit of that, and it's nice to have wed all that out. But yeah, you get the employees that out of a 8 hour day, they actually work three of those.
Right?
mhm.
Yeah.
Like when you're in this environment, all that does is put more work on somebody else's shoulders.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if you're working for Walmart or a factory or whatever, there's 100 others, so nobody
Yeah.
really notices.
Yep.
Here, that means Ryan gets to sleep here again,
Yeah. Or not sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
and I'm getting too old for that nonsense, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
100%.
I'm trying to work with what I got and enlighten them, just like I was in this industry, just like you guys were in the industry. It's instead of just being a one trick pony, learn every facet of this industry, every facet of your job. If you're a filler tech, be the baddest filler tech on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think of it as being a mud monkey. That's who wants to go to work to be a mud monkey.
No.
Uh, but do you want to be like the baddest filler tech on the planet, measuring things out to the millimeter to where they're just
Mm-hmm.
perfect? Now I'm going to get up. That's a challenge every single day. I'm going to go to work for
Yep.
that.
No.
And not just being a filler tech, but learn to shrink the metal, learn how to hang the sheet metal and line the gaps and all that stuff. That way, you're not monotonous and just dragging your ass through the day all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then
What
you become more of a utility player, more needed.
I've always said if you're a metal guy, but if you know a little bit about the body work that comes after it, that makes you a better metal guy, and vice
Yes,
versa. If you're the body work guy, but you know a little bit about the metal work, so if there is something, oh, he forgot to TIG weld this or grind this edge, you can do that without sending it back to the other part of the shop, and it makes you understand all the processes instead of having blinders on. And same
exactly,
thing, if you're just the guy that puts the shiny stuff on it, but if you know a little bit of the other, then it just makes everything more
E-
cohesive. That's a big word. That's
exactly.
a big word. I just
And
got a
we
dirty look from the cat. I'm
You
being
did.
too loud. He's trying to sleep right here. So
Axel.
yeah,
This is
Yeah,
like a new thing. We've done a couple of podcasts here recently, and he's just pretty much been here the entire time.
yeah.
it's that or they
We do.
scratch at the door.
Well, he don't go. Yeah, we live in his house. That's
Yeah.
how cats are.
That's how that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's cold here now, and Carrie likes to set the temperature in the house at 63 degrees. Is all the warmer it is in here because she
Exactly.
runs the fireplace all the time. But we do have a little space heater running, and it is pointing right at him. So he might not be here for us. He be here just for the heat, but we're okay.
Pouring
With
the
that.
heat.
We're okay.
Yeah,
With
me and the wife go back and forth on that. I like a brisk house. I like to, a blanket, some socks, be comfy.
Yep.
My
Mhm.
wife wants it to be a sauna, and I just can't do it.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, not me. There's times that it's warmer outside. He'll come home at lunch and he'll be like, we grew up in Illinois, so we're used to the
Below zero
below
stuff.
zero
Cold.
Another
shit.
reason why we moved
Yeah.
away from that.
But now we come down here and, we never wear a coat and it's 32 degrees and we're like, oh, that's a heat wave.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
And he'll come home from lunch or at lunch and he'll be like, it's warmer outside, right? And I'm like, okay.
So let's talk about some of the motorcycles and cars you've had personally through your career.
uh, Honestly, I didn't have anything cool painted until the show started. Uh, being
So, okay,
a
we actually missed a couple spots of going all the way back. What was your first car? When
My
you got your
very
license?
first car was an '85 Jeep Grand Wagoneer, and I wish the hell I still had that thing with the wood grain down the side.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was a boat. It was a 4-wheel drive Cadillac.
Nice.
Full leather interior, all wood grain, everything on the
But did you
inside.
think that was cool back then?
Yes, I
Okay.
saved up.
Because
I
they're
did.
cool now.
Yeah.
Those things. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that forced me to sell that was moving to California, and God, do I regret that.
California. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
do regrets very
I'm
well.
glad we never moved to California. As a young BMX kid and hot rod guy, I always thought I was going to move to California because that's where everything was. And then we
Huntington
had some,
Beach, the sidewalk on Huntington Beach where all the guys are riding their bikes.
yeah,
None of that. Yeah, that's not real.
yeah.
It may have
I
been real in the '80s, but not in the '90s.
Yeah, and I go to California for the Roadster show, and sometimes I go to Northern California to help my buddy Zane. And after a week or so in California, I've had enough of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
too
not the
peoply for me.
yeah, not dogging California. That's their culture out there, and talking shit is a second language, and it's not meant to be aggressive or mean or hurtful. It's just that's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it just didn't come across that way at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah. I just don't want to go. Like I remember the first time I was going to Southern California, and I was like, oh, and I was like landing here. It was coming in a couple days early for the Roadster show, and I reached out to Brad Fanshaw at Bond Speed Wheels. I was like, oh, I'd like to come and see you. I land at this time, like 11 o'clock, and he goes, you can't get to me and back to your hotel in a day. That you can at that in a half a day. You got to have a full day. I'm like, really? It looks like it's 35 miles. He goes, yeah, but it's gonna take you an hour and 20 minutes to. And I'm like, yeah, screw that. Yeah.
yeah, the traffic in California, yikes.
Yeah,
The,
I think that's what bothers me the most. Is it's just all the people. It's not. I love the architecture, the diners. I went the one year and went to the town of Orange before the Roadster show and went to all the 20 hot rod shops that are in that town or whatever. But it's just the traffic. It just drives me nuts. So we're just outside of Nashville enough that we don't have to deal with the traffic every day.
Yeah.
Tim
And
has a heart attack if I call him and say, "Hey, I want, I don't know, I don't even know what we eat now, but Sonic for lunch." Like, seriously?
And our town's like 30,000 people, and I was like, I don't want to go to that side
He's
of
like, I
town.
don't want to go over there. There's too many people and traffic. It's gonna take me forever.
Because there's a lot of factories here, so the town's bigger during the week with the factory workers, and then they'll come in and go. Yeah, it's like no,
You're ridiculous.
It's 2 miles of the old part of town from the shop to the house. I still come home for lunch every day, but yeah.
Yeah, that's like Vegas. The west side doesn't consort with the east side and the north side and the south side. And if you have to go from the north side to the south side, it's like you're leaving the state to get to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know that. That's
and
Vegas.
then us visitors come in and we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go out to the track, and then we're gonna go down to the airport and pick somebody up.
Do that
and
when
we're gonna go.
We was just in Phoenix a few weeks ago, and that's how it was like. Oh yeah, her cousin niece lives here, and our other friends live here, and it's like you're gonna do that all. Yeah, well, it's just 40 minutes, but
yeah.
But I tell people I tell people you're Ubering that, right?
Yeah.
So you said you didn't really have your own anything cool for yourself till the show started. What did you have?
The very first at the time I had my shop van, the blue van that I did on the show. I've had that van for almost 20 years now, and it was just my shop van. I've had thousands of motorcycles in the back of that, and it was just, we called it the murder rate van. It was just white, crappy, beat up van, but it looked bad, but it was still in really good shape. The engine was great, the tranny was great, mechanically sound all day long. I drove it to California and back many times, um, and that was my daily ride. So I came across, or me and Danny had come across this 59 panel truck, and it was of all places a painter's house, but he painted buildings, painted houses.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first cool thing that I actually bought and pseudo somewhat finished enough to where at least I painted it. That's the 59 Chevy panel truck that we did on the TV show, the purple and green one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing I've ever done for myself. And then after,
those are big surfaces to sand and paint. We did a
Yeah.
63 Chevy panel truck for Royal Purple and panel painted it.
Yeah.
Now my buddy bought it after we were done doing this stuff with Royal Purple, and I'm taking all the purple off of it now, so I'm getting to resand it and paint it, and it's about ready to paint. So it's like, man, your arms, it's a lot of surface on one of those things.
Yes, it is. Honestly, if we didn't have the fab shop that we had at the time, no way in hell was that thing gonna ever get done. That was a pipe dream.
Mm-hmm.
But fortunate, I saved up about $8,000 to pay for all the sheet metal work, and that was cost. Sheet metal work, and then I painted it after hours and everything on my own time. But got that finished enough to be on the show. Uh, then then we did a '69 Cadillac.
Do you still have those two?
Yep.
Okay.
Then we did a '69 Caddy for Danny, and he bought it. I think it was under 10 grand. It was in nice running shape. And then I think it took us about 3 weeks to build the whole car. Did a paint job on it. The interior was nice enough on it. So between paint, a little bit of body work, and a little bit of mechanical work, we were in it maybe 3 weeks, and may have cost him, an additional 10, 15 grand. Mm-hmm. So to us, that was a really cool car done really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And between me and Kevin Mack, the business manager here, we light bulbs over both our heads. Oh shit, we can afford that. And it costs a lot less because I'll start with a cheaper car and I'll do all the work myself. Mm-hmm. And that was the gold '69 Caddy that I did on the show. Now, that one was finished, done. And that was the first one finished, completed, done, on the road. I drove it every day for probably 4 years.
Is that the one you brought? A car the year you were at the Tulsa indoor show? Yep. Is that the one you brought?
That's the car. Okay. So that was my new shop truck.
Yeah, that thing's cool. It's got kind of lowrider style of paint on it that I call lowrider style a little bit. Yeah.
it's it was kind of a custom culture inspired 69
Hmm.
caddy. And then I did when COVID hit, I sold that to get me and the family through life. And I didn't build anything else until it was my van. And the van was, I'm going to keep that for the rest of my life. And I had been planning that van for probably 18 of those 20 years. So that is now my new daily driver shop truck. And as far as bikes go, there's a story there. So when I was in LA, I would do horse trading with some other bike shops. And I traded for a chassis from Diamond Chassis, who was chassis of the year builder out there in LA. I got the chassis, I think 99, and Magic Mike down the street, he just finished my chopper that took me 26 years, 27 years to build. So that's my chopper, and that's all I got. I got a bunch of projects, just like everybody else. I got a backyard full of projects.
Yeah.
Which
So
means
that's one of my questions I always ask. What is your dream car that you would like to build someday? Like me, I'm gathering parts for a 40 Merc that I have. Or it doesn't have to be yours, but if somebody came to you and says, here's a check, I'm going to pay you to build whatever your dream car is, what do you have a one or 12 of those that you want to build?
uh, I don't know if I'm like you, but if I am, I want 10 of everything done 10 different ways.
Yeah, yeah.
I really do. I really do. But right now we've got a customer. I was almost born in a 69 Chevelle SS 396. That was our family car when I was, born. And I always had this dream of doing a 69 Chevelle for my dad. And since then, he's lost interest in a Chevelle. He wants a convertible Mustang. And I asked him, "You want a retirement plan with that?"
Mhm.
So we've got a customer who put in an order for a Roadster shop chassis, 69 Chevelle with a LT4 and a whole nine. Like, well, I'm going to get that handled. We're
Yeah,
going to be doing that, and I am really looking forward to it. Clean, classy paint job. He doesn't want a bunch of graphics, but he does want some,
yeah.
mostly on the hood and the trunk. And like, that's exactly what I would have built that for my dad. So
Cool.
I get to fix that.
Yeah, that's the perfect time when we get to carry out some of our dreams and it's on somebody else's dime. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about all I got.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. But I've got a list on my dry erase board in the hallway of stuff that I want to build a really nice 32 Ford Roadster for me or somebody, a 55 Chevy sedan, but you know, starting to realize I'm getting old and I'm not going to get to them. There's only like 4 on the list, so it's not that bad of a
I
deal.
was gonna say you made a list. That's masochistic. I couldn't do that to myself.
Yeah, but then I had some other cars. Like I had a shoebox Ford Woody, 2-door Woody, a 50 that needed all the wood, but the metal was good. And it was like I was trying to find a customer, trying to whatever, and it wasn't on my list, so I just sold it as it was. So it's like, well, it didn't mean that much to me. I didn't have that much passion going on in my head and thinking about it all the time that it was like, okay, that one can leave and get out of my way.
I know what you're talking about. We for the show, we do pullovers and we go to people's houses and we buy
Mm-hmm.
cars. All those are legit. We bought all those cars.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a warehouse where we were storing all these cars. And one day the warehouse was on the pay no mind list. We had a group of guys that would drop the car off, open the doors, drop the car off, shut it, lock it, and leave. One day, for whatever reason, we went over there to do an inventory, and it was just you walk in the door and you turn the lights on, and you're like, "What did we do? What did we do? We could close the shop down, and 10 lifetimes. We'll never get all these cars done.
Yeah.
What were we thinking?" So we did a fire sale and sold all of it, gone. I mean, there was probably 70, 80 cars in there.
Oh
Oh
wow.
wow.
Yeah, legit, lost our damn minds.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. But when you see that stuff and you've got the money, you got to get them. I mean, you can't leave a kitty alongside the road or a puppy. You got to pick it up. So yeah,
Yep.
cars are the same way. They
Oh
need
yeah.
loved and abandoned and fed and
I
sheltered.
see. I see the look going on here. I concur. I agree with him. Hey, as long as
You're okay on the kitties though, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's where me and the wife. We're in the same boat. Cats, cool. Cars, don't bring home another one.
So do you have pets?
Oh yeah. We used to have our dog passed away, and that was hard. You know, I
Yeah.
wasn't a I like animals, but I didn't want to own a dog because they're more maintenance. You know, cats kind of take care of themselves, and dogs don't know they're dogs. They
Mhm.
they they think they're human. They just walk on all four.
Our cats think they're human too, though.
Yeah, they're
Well,
human.
cats know they're cats, and we work for cats, so it's a
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
it's different. You know, they do what they do, and we do their dish and their
What kind of dog did you have?
It was a mix. It was kind of a terrier, kind of German Shepherd terrier.
Yeah,
Mm.
we've
He,
had
he,
two Rottweilers since we've been married, and it's been
ooh,
8, 9 years. He was 180 pounds, our last one before he got sick. He had no idea. He was scared of the cats. He had no idea he was a
they're
grizzly bear.
they're just big babies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we travel too much to have a dog. So we lost our one cat about 4 months ago. So we're down to one indoor cat and one that's it's an outdoor cat that he's currently in the garage that I think he's gonna get fixed and come into the house.
Yeah,
So we usually have two cats at a time.
Yeah.
His name's Mercury because I found him in my 40 Merc the first time last March.
Yep.
nice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think living in Las Vegas, this is 26 years now. It's I've always had shop cats. Every single shop I've ever had a shop cat.
Okay, so I keep thinking I need a shop cat. How do you keep the hair out of the paint jobs? Like I joked, my first raw was a shop raw, and he went in the house.
Yeah,
That was my signature. I said almost everything I painted back then had at least one Rottweiler hair in it. It's just my signature.
there's their signature.
Yeah,
I can honestly say I never really had any issues, but they were all short hair cats,
yeah.
indoor
I
outdoor
didn't have the
cats.
greatest booth back then either.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
me neither. I had a fan with the cracked door.
Hmm.
I want to say it had to have something to do with wetting the floor down. You know,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
it had to. Because come to think of it, I can't think of a single cat hair I ever had in any paint jobs. The
yeah.
cat
I
hair
follow
wasn't
this
the
guy.
issue.
He does like Pebble Beach type stuff, and his dog goes to the shop with him every day and goes in the booth. But
Yeah.
they have that carpety stuff that's on the floor, and they vacuum it up, so they clean it really well before
Hey,
they're
let me
painting.
tell you that booth matting, wow, game changer, 1,000% over. Anybody with any kind of booth, especially a cross draft, if they don't have that matting in there, you're putting in so much more work. That
Yeah.
mat was night and day difference. I thumbed my nose at it for at least a decade. You know, going to
Yeah.
booths and they've got office carpet in there, legit office carpet.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. You guys are collision, blah blah blah. I used it one time. Like, what the hell was I thinking? What an idiot! 10
Yeah.
years?
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
None, none.
Uh, yeah.
But yeah, that's whew, I love that stuff. It's pricey as hell, but I
Yeah.
spend it hell with it. I buy that my damn self.
Yeah. Yeah. So your other question about shows?
Yep. So I have two questions for you. It's a two-parter. First one
Okay.
is, what is your favorite show that you like to go to? And then the
Co-
second one is, what is a show you've never been to but is on your bucket list?
Whew, that's gonna be a long one. That's a good question. Um, my category of favorite shows, it's there's a lot of subset categories to those. So
Mm-hmm.
there's the my favorite car shows that just bring the baddest rides on the planet. And that would be for me probably Detroit. And then right below that is going to be Tulsa because Tulsa, man, they bring everything: bubble cars, customs, custom culture cars, hot rods,
Mm-hmm.
street rides, daily drivers. The that's the family pride. It might be a beat up old 2000s Mustang, but they've got their whole life put into that car. Tulsa is a really the Starbird show
There's so much going on. They even have like demo derbies in there the one night, flamethrower.
indoor.
It's
Yeah.
five
Indoor.
shows in one. It really is. Yeah.
I took my wife to the Tulsa show. I think this year or last year. My wife doesn't do car shows. She's not into that stuff. It's like, are you done looking at the stupid cars yet? or when she sees a car that she likes, she's like, "Ooh, pretty." Um, Tulsa she had a blast the entire time. It's like, what are they going to do over there? The demolition derby. What's that? What's that? So, well, you're going to see they're going to crash these cars all up
Yeah.
inside in here, in
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
here. I said, yeah, it's pretty wild. And they had, they've got two classes. They've got like their entry level, which are all the small little import banger cars, and
Mhm.
then they've got the ringers, and the ringers are the second half. Those are the cars built purposely for demolition. Everything's welded solid.
There's a lot of science, and I got some buddies that do legit demo
Mhm.
cars. There's a
Those
science for those
they're
things.
those are not junk cars at
Yeah.
all.
No.
They got the amount of money they've got in the transmission and the rear end would pay for my house.
Yep.
Like it's
Tommy that worked at the Power Block, the muscle car show, he did demolition derbies, and he had a World Industries block and World Industries aftermarket heads, and that thing just then he would just grab people and push them out, grab people and push them out. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
there was a couple cars. One was I think a ladybug or it was named Bubbles, and that's my wife's nickname is Bubbles, and it was a minivan. And it was down to this minivan named Bubbles and this car that was just massacring everybody. And at the very end, Bubbles catches on fire, and everybody's laughing about Bubbles being on fire. And so the winner, the one car that was just massacring everybody, won, right? So they're shooting the fireworks off and everything that they're announcing the winner, and everyone's cheering. And the driver gets out of the car, gets on the roof of the car, pulls her helmet off, and it was like a Charlie's Angels moment. All you saw was this brunette hair flying around, and the whole place just erupted. This chick kicked everyone's ass. Like
That's awesome.
she was a badass. And then my
That's
wife was like, "Oh my god, I want to do that." It's like,
Yeah.
we can't afford that, baby. What? They're just junk cars. Like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they
Yeah.
are not.
So since you do a lot of bike stuff too, and you have done, what is your favorite? We're going to do this
Well, he
double
didn't
up.
say he didn't say his.
Well, I was going to ask him his favorite bike
Okay.
show that he's been
I'll,
to.
I'll I'll get back to the others because yeah,
Okay.
that's more to that story. Uh, Bike shows. I honestly haven't gone to a lot of bike shows. Um, Daytona and Sturgis are so overwhelming.
Mhm.
There's probably 50, 60 bike shows for
Mhm.
those 2 weeks. But one that stands out in my head that even when me and Danny and the guys were reminiscing is Long Beach at the Queen Mary.
Mm.
That show and staying on the Queen Mary and going off grid inside the Queen Mary where you're not supposed to go, looking at all the closed areas, through the pool that's downstairs and everything. I've got a lot of fond memories with that show. And some, real rock stars and movie stars and all that, they go to that show. And to get them and the world famous builders, to get them out of their personality per se and
Mm-hmm.
just be a dirtbag bike guy or girl, you meet some really interesting people that you hear their real story, and it's
Mhm.
you make a connection with those people that you wouldn't make anywhere else and under any other circumstances. And these are people, millionaire rock stars
Mhm.
and actors and actresses.
Yeah.
And you get them down to the down and dirty side, like, wow, these people are really fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When you all get boiled down, you have a common interest. That's when
Mhm.
people let their guards down.
Yep.
Exactly. But back to the favorite car shows. So there's Detroit because they're just amazing cars. Tulsa
Mm-hmm.
is just amazing from the moment the doors open till they kick you out. Eventually, they do kick you out, and I found that out. They will say, "Look, man, you got to go." Then there is the Evil Shindig.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a massive outdoor car show and great people. The,
Evansville, Indiana. We've never been to that one.
Mhm.
no, oh, it's a great show. It really
We were at the
is.
hospital in Evansville after crashing at the BMX track in town there once, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I let's see. The last year that I was there, I actually sent somebody to the hospital. So yeah, the story goes Ryan was, it was the end of the day. I was not on the clock, so to speak, and I started drinking the juice that they had. And when Ryan gets that way, apparently Ryan knows how to dance, which he can't. And I was twirling the photographer around and went for a dip, and her knee buckled, and yeah, oh God, I still feel horrible for that. But anyway, yeah,
Note to self: don't dance with Ryan.
yeah,
Okay, Carrie?
We
don't
got
do
it.
it.
Don't dance with
Don't
Ryan.
do it.
Got it.
Do not do it.
If
But
I'm
yeah,
dancing with you, I'm gonna dip you, so then maybe it won't end as badly. Yeah.
deal. I bounce. I've taken some hits.
I don't anymore.
No.
Yeah.
No. The thud.
Then there is Wheatland, Wyoming show, and that's just a small town show. But again, the people and the cars. Then there's a show in Sydney, Nebraska. Uh, just the people and the environment. Um, then there's God, I'm forgetting them. I usually have this list memorized in my head, but it's at the end of the year. I'm shutting down.
Mhm.
I get it.
My last trip was 2 weeks ago. Damn, and I can't remember where the hell I was. But that was the
So
end of.
what's a show that you've never been to but is on your bucket list?
That's a good one. Let me think about that. Let me think about that. And there are a couple of them. There's a big show on the East Coast, and I cannot think of the name. Oh, Back to the
Lady,
50s. Back to the 50s. That's a good show.
that's Minnesota.
Yeah,
I've not been to that. You
I've
have.
been there.
yeah, that
Is the
show
one
is.
on the East Coast, Led East, that maybe you're thinking about?
It might be Led East.
There's Led East and Dead Man's Curve show that's out there that I've always wanted to go to.
Dead Man's Curve I've gone to, and that wow. It's like Starbird times three
Mm-hmm.
because it was they demoed the hotel that it was at, but
Mm.
because of the venue, if you walked into another room in this hotel, is like SEMA. Every room there was something else really cool going on. It wasn't just silly things like crafts and stuff like that. It was holy shit, you got the builders of builders in here. And oh my God, that's the original Batmobile over there. That show really brought some very cool stuff, and they had
That's in New Jersey, right?
yeah,
New
they had
Jersey.
the cackle cars, and they had the biggest collection of cackle cars. That they light them all up. It was great. Me and Mike got to sit in the cackle cars and rev them up.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Um, I want to say Led East, and then I've never been to Paso Robles.
Yeah, well, it's not in Paso Robles anymore. It's still Memorial Day weekend. I've never been to that. It's where is it? They moved it. Starts with an M. I know Penny doesn't listen to this. She would be slapping me right now. It's in
yeah, it's
uh yeah. Starts with an M. They moved it out of Paso Robles, the West Coast Custom Show. You ever been to
Yeah.
the Grand National Roadster Show?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been to that.
that's a good one.
Been to
We
that.
always the biggest one that people say they want to go to if they've never been is the Moon Eyes Japan show, which people are traveling to right now as we record this.
Yeah.
That's on a bucket list, definitely to go to that.
Yeah. On the international side, that's a long list. I do want to get to. It's an industry show. It's Germany. It's Europe's basic SEMA, and that's Auto Mechanica in Frankfurt, Germany.
Mm.
I've been trying to get to that for probably 10 years.
No, the West Coast Custom Show is Santa Maria now.
Santa Maria.
Yeah.
doesn't really start with an M, but there's an M.
There's
in
an
there.
M in the second word. Yeah, so I was close. Is there an M? But what was it? The Wheel of Fortune show? Yeah. So yeah, you get along good in the Germany show because can you still talk German?
Not really. I understand a little bit, but yeah, it starts coming back to me. But I haven't spoke German in close to 30 years now, so no, not really. I'd have to get my German dictionary again.
No.
Oh. All right. What else?
Anybody as we wrap this up? We've been talking for a little over an hour and a half. So
How's it?
yeah. Sometimes these go 2 hours or more,
Yeah.
but a lot of the older guys that are in their 80s and 90s, they've got another lifetime underneath of them. So
Oh man, yeah, that's like I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to get John Kosmowski on the show.
no, I would love to though. Yeah.
That cat, wow, the stories and the memories, and he remembers that shit like it was yesterday.
Yeah, we've got Bob Larrabee Sr. on here that is 93, that is the Detroit Autorama guy. We've had Starbird on here. We had Winfield on here before he passed. Jack Walker, the Tituses. All those guys have so much stories of the, they've lived four
multiple
lifetimes
lives.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Basically built the industry that we're making our living in.
Right.
So it's just like we'd like to hear they're incredible. The story I could listen. I'm a history nerd, so that's why we started this podcast, so we can get everybody's story. So
Right. Well,
yeah.
and then you've got your own history on top of that.
Yeah, we've interviewed each other, and it's a conversation. It's not just an interview. So I always jump in and say stuff, and so anybody you need to thank in your career to this point.
That's way longer
That's good.
than the car shows. But yeah, my first influences before I was even painting, of course, was Gene Winfield. Um, Growing up as a kid, my dad was a drag racer. Our family ride was his super stock bracket car. That was at Chevelle.
Cool.
So I always got drag race magazines,
Mhm.
Drag Illustrated or Drag Weekly or Monthly or whatever, and then Hot Rod magazines. And they would, back then it was the Pro Street era. I just liked big fat tires and all that good stuff, big motor sticking out the hood. But if it wasn't a drag car, I really didn't care, or a Pro Street car. But Gene Winfield, Bill Hines, John DiAgostino, and Rick Dorr, the Zucchi brothers, Hot Rod magazine would cover the car shows, maybe 2 pages, 3 pages at best. And
Mm-hmm.
those were the cars that were in those magazines, and those were the only lead sleds or customs, like culture customs, that I cared about. And it was Gene Winfield's paint jobs on every one of them. His
Mm-hmm.
signature fades,
Yeah.
or Acme, back then did Zucchi Brothers, and it was their paint jobs that caught my eye before I even knew I liked it. I just liked it, and he was my earliest influence, along with Ed Roth with Rat Fink as a kid. And then once
You
I
know who the
was,
painter was at Acme, right?
what's that?
Do you know who the painter was at Acme?
I don't remember his name.
Daryl Hollenbeck was the painter back then at
It was
Acme.
Hollenbeck.
Yep.
Wow, that dude's a badass. He
He
really,
is. Yep.
really is a badass.
And a past BMXer too.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a small world.
Yep.
Yep.
And then once I was painting, I want to say, Craig Fraser and Cal Concepts.
We have Fraser lined up to do in the next couple weeks.
He's a good one, man. That
Yep.
guy's got everything's right there, and he has
Yep.
access to all of it. For me, I've lost half of that. I'd have to think about it. But he's had a hell of a story too.
Yeah.
And then come on, right? Oh, there's a cat in Texas who was someone I really looked up to, as far as airbrushing, and he was sort of known in the state of Texas. He was a national icon. Was a cat named Von Otto, and he passed away 4 or 5 years ago. Phenomenal airbrush artist. He did not like me at all. Uh, and I remember him pulling me aside because I'd take pictures of his work and study it, because I had no one else
Mm-hmm.
who was there in person that I could learn from. Everything I was learning was from the magazines. And he pulled me aside one day and he's like, "Look, kid, I understand, but I don't like you taking pictures of my work. I don't like you learning from me." I was like, "Well, that's odd. Don't you want to pass that down?" He said, "No, I'm a very zealous person. At heart, I really am zealous. I don't want to be the best airbrush artist. I want to be the only airbrush artist."
Wow.
And behind him, he had a couple of motorcycle club guys with him, and I recognized them and acknowledged them and said, "You'll never see me again." And then when I moved, the ironic side of that is when he wasn't lying about being zealous. When I moved out of Texas, I came back 2 weeks after I moved and went to Autorama, where he had his booth set up. And the dude greeted me like I was a brother. Open arms, "Ryan, I can't believe you're here, man. I heard you moved, man. It's good to see you again." It's like,
He was happy you moved, wasn't
you
Yeah.
wanted to kill me a second ago, dude. What are you talking about? So he was
Don't
not
come out
lying.
in your
He's very,
neighborhood anymore.
yeah, he wanted to own Texas, and he
Mhm.
did.
Yeah. Yeah, he was very happy you moved out of Texas.
Very. And I was nobody. I couldn't airbrush my way out of a cardboard box. But he was serious. I don't
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
the best. I want to be the only. Yeah,
So
this
he
is.
thinks he scared you out of the state.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He had a hand in that. But yeah, this has been really cool talking with you guys.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. Anybody you
Yeah.
need to thank as of now,
Oh,
your paint company you deal with, anything. You can
Your
say
wife.
anything. Yeah, your wife,
oh man, yeah.
your cat. You got to thank your cat.
My cat blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah. House of Color has been that whole brand and their subsidiaries, Matrix. Man, if it weren't for them, there's no way we could do this. We all know how much paint and liquids and sandpaper and all that stuff costs. Not a shot in hell at making this ever work, even the TV show or anything. Still to this day, without their support. And Danny and all the employees here, Danny mostly because he's the one batshit crazy enough to pay for all this stuff.
Yeah. And how many years you been with him now?
26 years. I moved here
Wow.
to open his paint shop and be his painter.
Wow, that's amazing.
So he's been to say he's been good to me is that's not even close. Doesn't even begin. He's a brother. He's like family to me.
That's awesome. Yeah,
He's
I need to
taken.
meet this guy sometime. I need to.
Yeah.
Next time we come to Vegas, we'll try to come
We're
by.
coming in June, so we'll have to.
Are we?
Yeah, we're coming out to see the Kenny Chesney show.
Oh, we got a buddy that he shoots the Kenny Chesney videos when it's at his stuff is at the Sphere,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we didn't go last time. Not a big Kenny Chesney fan, but I'm a friend of Sean Silva, and we went to the Sphere for the Wizard of Oz during the.
That was cool.
That was incredible. So I guess we're coming out in June, so maybe we'll stop by.
Very cool. Please hit me up and let me know.
Yep, for sure.
I'll make that introduction happen. I'd be very, very happy to introduce you guys.
So tell everybody where they can find you on social media if you care to.
I think it's Ryan at Counts Customs.
We'll tag you
there's-
in post.
Yeah,
There's
we'll
no blue
tag
tick.
we'll tag your Instagram page, and
Yeah.
I don't have Facebook, but she does, and we'll tag that so you can
Yeah.
share it when it comes up, and I'll text you when it comes up. So
Yeah, careful who you're talking with. I don't have any blue check marks. I never went through with all that stuff. Just make
Me
sure it's
neither.
me.
He does.
yeah,
He got hacked.
I
That's why
got the
don't
blue
have
check
Facebook.
on Instagram because my Facebook got hacked a year ago, and I still can't get it back. So the blue check mark seems to help a little bit. So
Yeah, I think there's probably a couple hundred Danny Cokers, and there's probably close to 100 Ryans trying to scam people. But
Oh,
you
for
know,
sure.
yeah, it's a weird
Yeah.
world out there.
It is.
So.
yeah, I know. But yeah, I'm grateful for everything and everybody that's helped put us where we are and still keep the doors open, as it were.
Yeah. Well, you've been around. You're famous in my world, the custom painting. A lot of people know who you are. And whenever I see you, you're always the super raddest dude and always down to earth. So I always appreciate that. We know some people that are more rock stars. I say this, I'm working on a real rock star's car right now. He is not a rock star. And he's in Papa Roach, the guitarist for Papa Roach, Jerry,
Oh,
and his podcast.
those
He's
guys
the
are the
chillest dude ever.
yeah,
And like,
those
we know people in the car world and custom paint world that think they're rock stars more than this guy does, and he is the chillest dude ever. So
yeah, Papa Roach and Five Finger Death Punch, man, the greatest group of guys. I swear to you,
yeah,
they're humble, but they're everyday dirt bags like the rest of us, and
yeah,
they're just cool people.
yeah,
Like they had no expectations to be who they are. It just happened.
yeah. I'm not one of them. I don't understand. I've been in this industry for 32 years. I don't understand egos. There's difference between confidence and egos because we're pretty lucky to be able to get to do what we do for a living, and this ain't
Yeah.
easy. None of us is printing money. But I don't understand some people with egos, and it's just to be said, those people won't get on our podcast ever. The people with the big egos. So yeah,
Nope.
I say that a lot. It's like, man, if we were curing cancer, we might walk a little taller, but until then, we just build cool shit. That's it.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. 100%.
So we want to thank Ryan Evans for being a guest on the Strange Motion Way podcast. I've been Tim Strange. You are
Very strange.
I always say this is my current wife, and she doesn't really like it when I say that. So
I accidentally
the only
introduced.
one that's gonna put up with your shit.
that is true. Yeah. I
One
think
time
next year will be 30 years, 29 years, something. 30 years next year. Wow.
Nice. Me and my wife have been together for 13 years, and I first introduced her. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mickey. It's either Mickey Harris or it was Keith Eccles. I don't know if you're familiar with those two.
I know
But
Mickey Harris.
for whatever reason, it just came out of my mouth. I was like, "Hey, Mickey," or "Hey, Keith, I want to introduce you to my future ex-wife." And I just, I didn't. I don't know. I don't know who the hell was driving the bus at the time. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Well, if there was a bus that night, you weren't on it because you were walking home, and my wife
Yeah.
will just like karate chop me in the neck. So
Yeah.
So yeah. So thanks again, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll see you. We'll see you this summer, I guess, when we stop by.
June.
All right. Look forward to it in June.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
All right. Talk to you guys.
Hey welders, ready to upgrade your gear and save some serious dough in the process? The Miller Build with Blue Savings and Rebate Program has you covered. Find amazing deals and cashback rebates on a wide range of Miller products, from welders to plasma cutters and everything in between, all backed by our 3-year warranty. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Take advantage of the Miller Build with Blue program now. Visit us online or stop by your nearest Miller distributor today to start saving.
The Strange Motion Way podcast, brought to you by
Royal Purple. Premium synthetic motor oils and high-performance chemicals have been designed to improve performance, provide long-term protection, and give you the confidence to push your vehicle to the limit. Royal Purple Premium Synthetic Motor Oils.